Good morning to Indians and good night to good evening to all the US students. I'm really sorry I could not come at a better time today. I know this is late night, but I got free from all the classes now, and in the morning also I was having classes, and then I was feeling sleepy, so I slept. So I'm sorry I could not come earlier, but yeah. So today, like in the last live session, we talked about quadratic functions. And we did all the questions related to quadratic functions, easy, medium, hard. And in this particular session, we will be talking about exponential functions, and we again will be doing easy questions first, then medium questions, and then the hard questions. And along side, we will also keep learning about the concepts and how can we effectively use desmos. So we will be doing all those things. And so all the hard work we had done I had done in the last session. I arranged all the questions based on the type and like difficulty level, so I already have it, so I won't have to take much time. I'm really sorry, my neck is hurting a little bit, so I'm just trying to ease the pain. Yeah. So I was saying we don't have to like wait for longer to start the session. We can directly start because the classification has already been done. And yeah, thank you so much. The response has been great. Yeah, and I'm grateful that I'm being able to help. And yeah, so all the comments that are telling that they did not know desmos can do so much. Yeah, desmos can do lots of things, and during all these sessions we'll keep learning about how to harness the power of desmos, so that we are able to solve questions in a quicker way and in a more accurate way, because you have the facility, so you should avail it to its maximum. Yeah. So yeah. Let's start. So the first question, an exponential, the easy question is going to be question number 7. So when you see these kind of graphs, so in exponential function, they are only going to be talking about the y-intercept, and they're going to be talking about the asymptote. So I will shift myself over here. So I will write over here. An exponential function y-intercept is important. Then there is horizontal asymptote. And then there is the factor, growth factor, decay factor, whatever we call it, factor. So in this particular case, your horizontal asymptote is y equals -4. So y equals -4 is asymptote. And this is your y-intercept, 0, -5 is y-intercept. And in exponential functions, how can we identify these things? It is going to be a times b to the power x plus k. Horizontal asymptote is going to be y is equal to k. Factor is your b, and y-intercept is going to be a plus k. Because when you put x 0, it becomes b to the power 0, that is 1. So it becomes a plus k. So when there is no k value, it is 0, then y-intercept is just going to be a. So these are few concepts that we will be using in this particular question set here. And over here, let me just bring it over here so that you can see here. This is the y equals to k, that is your horizontal asymptote. Alright. Now in this question they are looking for the y-intercept. So what is y-intercept? Y-intercept is, I will write this in a second line only because this is not visible here. And if you have a times b to the power x, then y-intercept is just the value of a. Horizontal asymptote, I am writing HA, that is your y equals 0, and factor is still b. Alright? I'll move myself here where there is no information. Yeah. So y-intercept is 0, -5, and these are, like I've also told you, what they are going to look for in exponential functions. This is sort of theory. So now moving forward, y-intercept is going to be 0, -5, that we have already seen. So this is the answer. The next question is question number 34. So that's on page number 35. So over here again you can see this is your exponential, because it's just increasing. So again they're looking for y-intercept. So in easy questions they're looking for y-intercept. This is your y-intercept, 0, 2 is your y-intercept, and y equals 0 is your horizontal asymptote. So the answer is just 0, 2. The next easy question is question number 56. Yeah, f of x equals 2 times 3 to the power x. What is the value of f of 2? So I will solve mentally. 2 means 3 squared, 9 times 2, the answer is 18. Or how can you do it using desmos? You just go to desmos, you write f of x equals to 2, 3 to the power x, and in the next line you can just write f of 2. You will get your answer 18. That's another method through which you can do it. And now, because this is fairly simple question, you know the value of x is 2, so you can simply write 2 over here and just write 2 times 3 squared. You can directly get your answer as 18. Okay, so these are the 2 different ways in which you can write in desmos as well. Alright, so now the answer is 18. The next question is 59. That's going to be on page number 16. Again the graph is given to you. They are looking for y-intercept. This is the y-intercept, 0, 8. And y is equal to 6 is your horizontal asymptote. This is my answer. Now the next one is 61. That's on page number 62. Okay. So this is the word problem. A ball is dropped from an initial height of 22 feet. Initial height is 22 feet. That means your y-intercept is 22 feet. So the function h estimates that the maximum height reached after each time the ball hits the ground is 85% of the maximum height reached after the previous time the ball hit the ground. So maximum height after each time ball hits the ground is 85% of the maximum height previous. So your factor is 0.85, because 85% means 0.85. Initial value is 22. So it is a times b to the power x. Value of a is 22 because that is your y-intercept, and b is your 85%, that's 0.85. That's how you get the equation. So 22 times 0.85 to the power n, this is our correct answer. Because n is the whole number greater than 1 and less than 10. And what is n? Maximum height of the ball after it has hit the ground n times. So when the value of n is 0, that means it hasn't hit the ground not even once, then the height is 22. And after it has hit the ground, the maximum height will be 22 times 0.85 and so forth. I hope this is clear. So you have y equals a times b to the power x. A is your initial or the y-intercept, and b is your factor. So over here initial value is 22, so the value of a is 22 times 85% of the maximum height, so value of b is 85%, that is 0.85. Yeah, option B. Next one is 62, and that will be on page number 63. Again, graph is given and what is the y-intercept? Y-intercept is 0, -6. So this is my answer. Next question is 75, that will be on page number 76. Yeah. Okay. Interpretation question. Function is given, f of x is 200,000 times 1.21 to the power x. That means the initial value is 200,000, factor is 1.21. Gives the company's predicted annual revenue in dollars. So f of x is revenue, x is number of years after the company started selling light bulbs online. What is the best interpretation of this statement? F of 5 is approximately equal to 518,748. So that means f of 5 means x value is 5. And x is your year, so 5 years. And f of 5 is equal to 5, so this is the value of y. So your y is 518748. So that's your annual revenue. So after 5 years the revenue should be this much. 5 years it predicted annual revenue is this much. Yeah, this is right. 5 years after revenue increased by a total, no, it is not increasing, it is exactly equal to 518. Company's predicted annual revenue is this much, it is 5 times, no, this is something else. 5% greater, no. So this is option A. That after 5 years the revenue is 518,748. Alright. Yeah, and the easy questions, these are the only easy questions that we have. Yeah, so there are just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 easy questions, and either they're asking the meaning of the point, or mostly they're asking the y-intercept, and sometimes they're asking you to write the equation or understand the meaning of the equation. Yeah. Now we will move to, without further delay, we'll move to medium questions, because there are a lot of medium and hard questions in exponentials. Just give me a second. I'm just going to shift my cat away from the keyboard. Yeah, good girl. The bigger cat, she is understanding. She does not attack me when I'm trying to move her a little to the side. She understands why I'm doing this. But the younger one, I had to lock her because she's crazy. Yeah, so easy questions are done. Now let's move to medium questions. Let me just change the level to medium. Question number 8. Yeah, and there is this glitch. Sometimes MSUP is given that they're not displaying the exact value. So in exponential, it will be there. So I will be writing the correct answer for those questions. Now we're going to question number 8. That is page number 8. And you can see this is medium difficulty. The table is given to you, and see, no options are there. So now a table is given to you, and what you have to do, I always read the question first. Which of the following equations best represents the relationship between t and n? So you have to get the equation, and everything else is like la 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 la. Okay, fine. Yeah. So what I will do for this is proper desmos question. Put table in desmos and get the equation. Then you just have to write y1 tilde sign a times b to the power x1. You will get the values of a and b. You can directly see the value of a is 604 because the value of a is your y-intercept, so you can directly see that. So that's not a problem. But yeah, let's go over here. Even if you do not know, you can type it, but it is 604. Then at 1 the value is 606.42. At 2 the value is 608.84. And now you just write y1 a times b to the power x1. See, the value of a is 604.00 and the value of b is 1.004, and you already know that the value of a is 604, so you can write 604 here. You will get the value of b as 1.004. Okay, so this is your a. Now your equation is, now y will be changed with n, because this is your n and this is t. So your equation is n is equal to 604 times 1.004 to the power t. Options are not given, so it cannot be d that we are sure about. Yeah. I'll move myself here. Got it? Value of a is directly 604. And how can you get the value of b directly? By just dividing them, because b is the factor. So you can also get b with 606.42 divided by 604.00. So your b is 606.42 divided by 604. You will get 1.004. From here also, that's also you can do. You can divide the values of y. Okay, because in exponential you are continuously multiplying. And I think I will just make it a little smaller so that you can, yeah, now you can see everything. Now the next question is question number 15. That's going to be on page number 16. S of n is equal to 38,000 a to the power n. Alright. Now, again I go to the last line. If the employee salary increases by 4% each year. Yeah, so whenever, so there are two things. When you are increasing the percentage by r%, your factor is going to be, or the value of b is going to be 1 plus r over 100. If it decreases by r%, the factor is going to be 1 minus r over 100. Factor means B. In this case my factor is A, so A is going to be 1 plus 4% is going to be 0.04, so my answer is 1.04. Got it? Yeah. So increases by certain percentage, decreases by certain percentage, those are your exponential functions, and there you have to remember that the factor, if you remember the factor, then you know the exponential function is a times b to the power x. So you just have to understand what is your factor going to be. It's either 1 plus r over 100 if it is increasing. If it is decreasing, it is going to be 1 minus r over 100, or you have to write the r value in decimal. So 4% will become 0.04 and you have to add it to 1. So the answer is 1.04. Next one is question number 18, that will be on page number 19. Yeah. Equation estimates the global traffic data. What is the best interpretation of 5640? So 5640 is your going to be y-intercept. That's initial value, and according to them, what is when is initial happening for the t years after 2010. So that means in 2010. And this is estimated amount of traffic each year. No. Each year, no. T years after 2010, no. This is the estimated data traffic in 2010. This is your answer, because this value corresponds to the year 2010. Okay? So in a times b to the power x, the y-intercept is a. In a times b to the power x plus k, the y-intercept is a plus k. And that is what they will be asking about. Just give me a second, it's just troubling me a lot. I'll be right back. Yeah, my nose is troubling a lot. I have washed, but still it's troubling. There's a lot of itching happening over here, but yeah, let's continue. This was question number 18. Next one is question number 27. That's our page number 28. Here also, a scientist initially measures 12,000 bacteria in a growth medium. 4 hours later, the scientist measures 24,000 bacteria. Assume exponential growth. The formula P equals C times 2 to the power RT is the number of bacteria in growth medium, where R and C are constant. P is the number of bacteria. T after the initial measurement, what is the value of R? From this initial is 12,000, that means this C is going to be 12,000. Four hours later, that means the value of T is going to be 4. And measures 24,000 bacteria. P is the number of bacteria after initial measurement. So the value of P is 24,000. And they want to know what is the value of R. So there are two different methods to solve this. The first one is you can directly put everything over here, solve manually. 24,000 equals 12,000 times 2 to the power 4r. Divide by 12,000, divide by 12,000, you will get 2. 2 equals 2 to the power 4r. 2 to the power 1 equals 2 to the power 4r. 1 equals 4r. R equals 1/4. Or once you have got this, 24,000 equals 12,000 times 2 to the power 4r, you can just go to desmos. $24,000 equals 12,000 times 2 to the power 4x. Now I want to show you one thing, because this is exponential equation, you will not be able to click on the value. So this will happen if you're doing anything other than linear and quadratic equation. If you're doing cubic equations, exponential equations, rational functions. So what is the hack for this? There's a very clear hack for this, that is so you write y equals 24,000, that is the left side, and you write y equals 12,000 times 2 to the power 4x. I'm really sorry. I have this problem. I sneeze in the mornings. So you write, you separate the left hand side of the equation and right hand side of the equation and make them, both of them, equal to y. And now you can solve. And now you write y equals 24,000. And because you're going to thousands, you keep subtracting, you will get 0.25. So the value of x is 0.25. And 0.25 is 1/4, so answer is going to be 1/4. So you can convert it to a fraction. Extremely sorry. Okay, so you have to write in two different lines, right side, left side, and then you will get your answer and you can convert it to a fraction. So this is what you have to do. Now the next question is question number 37. That will be on page number 38. Okay, I want to tell you one more thing. Now you can see 24,000 is double of 12,000. So you're doubling in every 4 hours. So this equation has to be P equals 12,000 times 2 to the power T over 4. This equation means you're doubling in every 4 hours. So the value of r is going to be 1/4. That's also a concept that we will take a better look, because these kind of questions are going to be there in the hard or medium exponential functions. So whenever you have t over m, that means it is like, and whatever is the factor, that factor is being implemented in those many years. It is not for every year. For example, if you add 2 to the power t over 5, then it is doubling in 5 hours. If you add 2 to the power t over 4, it is doubling in every 4 hours, and we can see it is doubling in 4 hours. So from there the value of r is going to be 1/4. Question number 37, that's page number 38. Again, f of 8 is approximately equal to 82. So x value is 8, that is years. y value is 82. So this will be 8 years after January 1. The function gives the predicted value in dollars. So this is $82 of rare coin. So it has to be 8 years. So wherever you don't see 8 years, you just cancel all those options. Yeah, you're seeing 8 years, you're seeing 8 years. Okay, fine. You're seeing $82, you're saying $82. So predicted value is $82. Over here, predicted value increased by $82. So this is not correct. This is the correct option, because it is not increasing by $82. It is actually $82 after 8 years. Next one is question number 40. That will be on page number 41. Okay. From 2005 through 2014, number of music CDs sold in the United States declined each year by 15%. So you are decreasing by 15%. That means your factor B is going to be 1 minus 0.15. That's going to be 0.85. So you have to see where your factor is 0.85. This is 0.15. This is gone. This is 1.15. This is gone. This is 1.85. This is gone. 0.85. This is your answer. So you just have to find the factor. Okay. And because you are declining, it is going to be 1 minus r over 100. That is 1 minus 0.15 over 100. That is 1 minus 0.15. That's 0.85. You can also go to desmos after you know the formula, and you can just write 1 minus. Over here, do not write parentheses because it is dividing 15 with 100. You will get 0.85. Next is question number 43. That will be on page number 44. Okay, the exponential graph is given. The graph gives the estimated number of catalogs y in thousands. So y is in thousands. So that means all these numbers, for example, 1 represent 1000, 2 represent 2000, 3 represent 3000. X represents the number of years. Okay, fine. Which is the best interpretation of y-intercept? So we have to see what is y-intercept. It is 9. So your y-intercept is 9000. And 0 is at the end of 1992. So at the end of 1992, your y value has to be 9000. Got it? Because 0 represents 1992. Why does it represent 1992? Because since the end of 1992, so your initial value, the starting point is 1992. So the only thing is that y-intercept is not going to be 9, it is going to be 9000 because you are calculating y in thousands. So at the end of 1992, during first years, no. The value is 9000, 90 is already gone, 9 is already gone. There are only two options for 9000. During first 10 years, that's not the correct answer. At the end of 1992, the answer was 19,000. So this is the correct option. Most people would choose C because y-intercept is 9. They will think the answer is going to be 9. No, but it is 9,000. That's the only thing. Alright? Now the next question is 50. That's going to be on page number 51. Y is equal to 4 times 2 to the power x. Which of the following is the graph? So your first of all, this is going to be an increasing graph because factor is greater than 2. Greater than 1, I mean to say. So it has to be increasing graph. This one is decreasing, so you can cancel this. This one is also decreasing, so you can cancel this option as well. Now C and D are increasing, so which one do we choose? So now if you will see, at 1 the value is below 25, at 1 the value is below 25, so that is not helpful. At 2 the value is above 25, at 2 the value is below 25, and you have 4 times 2 to the power x. So you find at x is equal to 2. You will get 4 times 2 squared, that is 16. 2 squared is 4, 4 times 4 is 16. So it should be less than 25. So this option is gone, this is your answer. Got it? Otherwise what you can do, you can go to desmos, you can make a table, because you have 4 times 2 to the power x, and you can find the value at 1. Yeah, you have to write x1, not x. So it directly gives you the values. At 2 it should be 16, at 3 it should be 32, and at 4 it should be 64. And now you check the options. At 1 you should be getting 8, at 2 you should be getting 16, so this is the only option. At 3 you should be getting 32. So at 3 it has to go above 25. This is going way beyond, so this is the correct option. Alright, and over here you can directly see at 2 the value is not 16, it's very less, and here also the value is not increasing. So the options for C and D, so you calculate what is the value at 2, or you can see at 3 also, because at 3 it's going above 100 and here it is above 25, so the value is 32, so it has to be between 25 and 50. Got it? So you can manually get the value at 2 as well, or you can just go to desmos and get the value at 2 as well. Next one is question number 68. And in desmos you can, instead of getting the entire table, because the 2 is a deciding factor, so we can also do 4 times 2 squared. You will get 16, that is less than 25. Yeah. 68. So you can go to page number 69. Yeah. The function f of t equals 60,000 to the power t over 410. That means it doubles in every 410 minutes. That is the concept that I told you. So if you have a times b to the power x over m, that means it multiplies with b every m hours. And that is what they are asking. How much time does it take for the number of bacteria in the population to double? So you have to make 60,000 times 2. So that means this should be 2 to the power 1, right? T over 410 should be 1. That means t should be equal to 410 minutes. So after 410, the population is going to double. Understood the concept? Why it will be 410? Because, okay, let me make this bigger, so you are able to see the entire question. Yeah. So why can I say that it is going to be directly 410? Because how much time it is going to take the population to get double. So if it has to double, it has to become 60,000 times 2. That means t over 410 has to be equal to 1. That means t has to be equal to 410. Okay? Because it has to be 2 to the power 1. Right? So directly we can say the answer is going to be 410 by just looking at the equation. And the concept also is pretty simple, because it has to be 2 to the power 1. That means t over 410 has to be 1. This entire thing has to be equal to 1. Next one is 69, that will be on page number 70. Exact same question. Okay, only the values are a little bit changed, At 0 it is 670, at 1 it is 674.02, at 2 it is 678.06, and then you look which of the following equations best represents the relationship between T and D. I don't need any of these. So I go to desmos. We have done this kind of question. Now there are two ways. The value of A is going to be 670. This is your A. And to get B, you can directly do 674.02 divided by 670. Okay? You will get 1.006. So the value of B is 1.006. Your A is 670. So the answer is going to be 670 times 1.006. Now this is D, this is T. To the power T equals D. That's your answer. Or you can go to desmos. Type the table. At 0 it is 670. At 1 it is 674.02. And because there are only two variables, you need only 2 points. You don't need the third point as well, because you just want to find out A and B. 670, yeah. And Sarah made no additional deposits or withdrawals. That means it is just A times B to the power X. There is no K, because you are not adding in anything extra. If she were adding anything extra, then you will have to add it over here. Yes, so I was saying because you have to only find values of A and B, there are two variables, so 2 points are enough. 670 and 674.02. And then you just write y1 A B times A times B to the power x1. You will get the value of A is 670, B is 1.006. Even if you type this third value, that's, you can do it, but there is no need. 678.06. You will still get the same answer. Got it? Yeah. Now the next question is question number 74. That will be on page number 75. Here also you have to find the equation. A certain college had 3,000 students enrolled. So your initial value is 3,000. So this is gone, this is gone. Your A value is 3,000. A times B to the power x. Yeah. The college predicts that after 2015, the number of students enrolled each year will be 2% less than the number of students enrolled before. So it is decreasing by 2%, right? That means your factor is going to be 1 minus 2 over 100. That's 1 minus 0.02. Answer is 0.98. So A is 3000, B is 0.98. This is your answer. This is also gone. So 3000 times 0.98 to the power x. I think I'll have to move. No need to move here. Got it? So initial value is given 2% less than, so you can find the factor. That's going to be 1 minus 2%, that is 1 minus 0.02, that's 0.98. Option A and option B were already wrong because the factor is not 3000, initial value is 3000. Next one is 77, that will be on page number 78. A rubber ball bounces upward 1/2 the height that it falls each time it hits the ground. So there is this rubber ball. Every time it falls to the ground, it gets to half of the time. It gets half to the height. It gets half to the height. So this is your exponential function. And because it is 1/2 the height, that means your factor b is 1/2. If the ball was originally dropped from a distance of 20 feet, so your a value, because this is your initial value, that is 20 feet, that is initial or y-intercept. What was its maximum height above the ground in feet between third and fourth time it hit the ground? So between third and fourth time, this is first time, second time, third time and fourth time. So between third and fourth time, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So maximum height is going to have its third iteration, okay? So the equation is going to be a times b to the power x, and the value of x is going to be 3. Because this is your y-intercept, between first and second time it is hitting the ground, you're going to x1 value, between second to third it's the second value, and between third and fourth you're getting the maximum height third time. So the value of x is 3, a is 20, b is 1/2 to the power 3. You can just go to desmos. 1/2 to the power 3 is 8, so 20 divided by 8 is 2.5, or you can write 5/2. So what was the maximum height? The maximum height was 5/2 or 2.5. Got it? So this is a conceptual question. So yeah, you can take a look at it again. I will explain it one more time. So when you're dropping, whenever you drop, it bounces back, the ball, right? So that is what it is showing. It's dropping from 20 feet. So initially at 0, when it has not touched the ground even once, the value is 20 feet. And now when it touches the ground, it goes to maximum height, that is going to be 10 feet. Then it touches the ground, then it is going to come up again, it is going to be 5 feet. Then it is going to touch the ground and it is going to come up, it is going to be 5/2 feet, because it is getting 1/2 each time. So between third and fourth, the answer is going to be 5/2, because this is 20, this will become 10, this will become 5, this will become 5/2 or 2.5, because they are reducing by half every single time. Or you can use the equation as well, or you can use the diagram as well. Both the things are perfectly fine. Got it? You can use the diagram as well. The maximum height is going to be 1/2. So after 20 it is going to be 10, then 5, then between third and fourth time it is hitting the ground, it is 5/2. Next is question number 79. That's going to be on page number 80. Here also you have to write the equation, and there is m sub. So we will write the formula directly here. Number of bacteria doubles every day. Doubles every day, that means your value of b is 2. There are 44,000 bacteria in the liquid medium at the start of observation. That means the value of a is 44,000. And so the equation is going to be a times b to the power t. So 44,000 times 2 to the power t. So this is gone, this is gone. It could be either of these options. Don't worry, in blue book or in your exam you won't have an answer, but over here there is some glitch that they are having. Alright, and if it were doubling every 2 days, then it would be t over 2. If it were doubling every 3 days, then it will be 2 to the power t over 3. That's an important concept. You have to use t over m. The value of m over here is 1, because it is doubling every single day. Got it? So that is important, that m is equal to 1. I will try to, yeah. Now the next question is question number 85. That will be on page number 86. See, same question like what I told you, it occurred over here. It doubles every 2 years, and in 1985 microprocessor was introduced. Introduced means 275,000. So your value of A is 275,000 because that is initial value. Factor, it is doubling, so the factor is 2. And your equation is going to be A times B to the power T over M. Right? M is in how many days it is doubling, or in how many hours, or in this case in how many years it is doubling. So this will be 275,000 times 2 to the power T over 2. Based on this information, in which of the following years does Moore's law estimate the number of transistors to reach 1.1 million? So that means y is equal to 1.1 million. 1.1 million is 1.1 times 10 to the power 6. Alright? Because this is exponential equation, I have already written them in two different lines. Now put these two in desmos. First thing is you have 275,000 times 2 to the power T divided by 2. Yeah, and here we can't use T, so I am going to use X. And then you have y is equal to 1.1 million. No, you can't write million. Yeah, so that is why it is important to know that it is going to be 10 to the power 6. Yeah. You have got your equation, you have got everything. And now you have to go to million. So you keep subtracting, like putting the minus sign. 4. The value of X is going to be 4. That means 4 years after. Okay? So from here you get X T is equal to 4. And you were started in 1985, so your answer should be 1985 plus 4. So in 1989 it will reach 1.1 million. Everything else I have not even read the question. According to Moore's law, the number of transistors included in microprocessors, I was just worried about that it doubles every year, every 2 years. In 1985, so your starting point is 1985. Introduced 275,000 transistors, so that's the value of A. In which of the following year, they're talking about the year transistor reach 1.1 million. Alright, so you find how many years after 1985? 4 years after 1985. So you add 1985 to it, your answer is going to be 1989. I hope that is clear. So the only thing over here is it doubles every 2 years. So it will not be b to the power t, it will be 2 to the power t over 2. Because every 2 years it is doubling, 2 over 2 is going to be 1. So you should get 2 to the power 1 when the value of t is 2. So this is an important concept. There are lots of questions based on this concept. Next one is question number 86, the next question only. Defined by 270 times 0.1 to the power x, what is the value of f of 0? So 0.1 to the power 0 is 1, or you can directly see this is your y-intercept. So the answer is 270. Or if you can also go to desmos and then just type 270 times 0.1 to the power 0. You will get 270. Alright? Now the next question is 89. That's going to be on page number 19. Now f of 5 is equal to 243. So 5 is what? 5 is x is the number of years after 1957. So x is 1957. X is 5, that means 1957 plus 5, 1962. and Y is $243 in dollar certain bank account. Here X is the number of years after 1957, so value of X is 5. Let me write in a more clear way. So this means $243 in bank account, and this is after 1957, so the year is going to be 1957 plus 5, that's 1962. So in 1962 bank account has $243. Let's see the value of the bank account, $5. That's not true. We are looking for 1962, 1957 and 1972. This is also gone. 5 times greater, no. Value of bank is $243 in 1962. That's the correct answer. Got it? Now the next question is going to be 91. That's on page number 92. Again you have to write the equation, and there are m subs. A model predicts that the population of Springfield was 15,000 in 2005. The model also predicts that each year for the next 5 years, the population P increased by 4%. Because it is increasing by a certain percentage, that is why I know it is going to be exponential. Which equation best represents this model, where X is the number of years after 2005. So in 2005 you have 15,000, so your value of A is 15,000. So these two options are already gone. Now it increased by 4%, so value of B is going to be 1 plus 4 over 100, that is 1.04. So your equation is going to be A times B to the power X, and P is equal to M, because Y is P. So P is equal to 15,000 times 1.04 to the power X, because this increase is for every year. Got it? So how do you know it is exponential? If it is doubling, if it is increasing by a certain percentage, if it is decreasing by a certain percentage, in all those cases, you know this is going to be exponential. Okay, I'm just going to put my phone on silent mode. And the next question is 92. That's the next question only. Okay. Yeah. So I will just. This is my answer. Okay, 115 times 0.90d. Okay. The function defined can be used to model the number of species. Which of the following does the model predict? So they are saying they are decreases by, so you have to identify how much they are decreasing by, and d is in hundreds of meters. So that means when d is equal to 1, that means it is talking about 100 meters. So your depth is increasing by 100 meters. So this option is also gone. Alright? And your factor is 0.9. So that means you are decreasing, right? And decreasing, it should be equal to 1 minus r over 100. That should be 0.9. Because 1 minus 0.9 is going to be 0.1. So r is going to be 10%. Because this is 0.9, this is like 10 less than 100. So it is decreasing by 10%. because it should be 100. 100 minus 90 is 10. So it's decreasing by 10%. Or you can put this equation in desmos as well. 1 minus x over 100 is equal to 0.9. Then you press home. Your answer is 10%. Got it? Hundred minus 90 is 10%. So it is decreasing by 10%. Now the only thing is D is in hundreds of meters. So most of the people can choose answer A. That the depth is increasing by 1 meter. It is not increasing by 1 meter. It is increasing by 100 meter, because D equals means 100 meters. So that was the trick over here. So you have to be very careful what the unit, what does each variable represents. Yeah, next question is question number 95. That will be on page number 96. What is the y-intercept? Y-intercept is 11. We can directly see, because this is your y-intercept. Or you can put x as 0 as well. Even then you will get 11. Okay. We can type the equation. But it always helps 0,11. But it always helps if you directly know that 11 is going to be the answer. Next is 98. That will be page number 99. Okay. A company opens an account with an initial balance. So this is your initial balance. That means this is the value of A. The account earns interest and no additional deposits or withdrawals are made. Account balance is given by an exponential function A, where A of t is the account balance in dollars t years after the account is opened. The account balance after 13 years is this much. So here first you will need to find the factor, because they have not given you the factor. So your y-intercept is, this is your y-intercept. So your all 36,100. So these two options are already gone, and wait for it. You don't need to solve for anything. When t is 13, your account is 68,071.93. So your account is increasing, the money is increasing. If money is increasing, that means the factor has to be greater than 1. So by just logic, you can say the answer is going to be A, because it cannot be 0.05, because it has to be greater than 1. And that is how, my friend, without solving anything, you get this answer. Okay? Or you're like, no, we want to get the exact answer. And then you can use two different points. 0,36,100, and then you have 13, 68,071.93 dollars. Put this in desmos and put A times B to the power x1. You shall get the value of B and A. But it's always easier to understand the concept, because if you understand the concept, you can directly get the answer without going to desmos or without taking too much time. At 13, what is the answer? 6,100. And this one is 68071.93. And then y1, A times B to the power x1. A is 36100, B is 1.05, so 36100 times 1.05 to the power x. you can get your direct value as well. And why I'm showing this, because sometimes what might happen, both the factors might be greater than 1. In this particular question you can just solve by looking at the options, but sometimes that might not be enough. So this is how you can get the answer from desmos. Sorry about that. Yeah. Got it? But you can directly see money is increasing, B has to be greater than 1. So the only option remaining is this one. This is by logic. This one is by desmos. Got it? Because there are only two options given to you for B, 1.05 and 0.05. It has to be 1.05. Now the next question is going to be 99. The next question only. Okay, the table is given to you. Which of the following equations could define f? So 5 is your initial value, so this is going to be A. So there has to be 5, and there is 5 everywhere. Okay. And now if you see, you're dividing with half. Every single value you're dividing with 1/2. That means A is 5, B is 1/2. So your equation is going to be 5 times 1/2 to the power x. But now you will see there is no option. So this is 1/2. 1/2 can be written as 2 to the power -1. So you have got 2 to the power -x. This is how I solve it using the logic, like without using desmos or anything. Or if you want the equations, what you can do, you can just go here, get the tables 0, 5, 1 is going to be 5 halves, and you only need that 5 fourths. So it has to be, now you will be like, you will be getting through desmos, getting 5 times 0.5 to the power x, and that is none of the options. But you know it is not 2, so these two options are cancelled, and you just see 2 to the power -x. This is going to be 5 times half to the power x, that is 5 times 0.5 to the power x. So again it will be option D. So you will have to do a little manipulation. Alright? Yeah. So this was tricky because you have to use the laws of exponent. The negative you should know the negative power means the reciprocal. Next one is question number 101, that will be on page number 102. Exponential function is given, g of 3 is given. What is the value of g of 4? Okay, so let's solve this. For this I'll be using desmos. (19 times a to the power x). Now g of 3 is given as 2375, that means 2375 is equal to 19 times a to the power 3. So in desmos, you write y is equal to 2375, you write y is equal to 19 times x cube. Because this is cubic equation, do not write them in single line, write them in two different lines. (2375) and you write 19 times x cubed. You have to go to 2375. Yeah. The value of x is 5. If you would have done, because you're getting a normal number, you could have done this way, but we are never sure that the value is going to be an integer or not. So here you'll have to do plus and then see, okay, it's at 5. Okay, so here you can do because it's integer value, but we are not sure that it is going to be an integer value or not. That is why I just put them on two different lines. You got x is equal to 5 and you have to find g of 4. So now you just do 5 to the power of 4, 11875. Because a is equal to 5, g of x is going to be 19 times 5 to the power x. So g of 4 is going to be 19 times 5 to the power 4. Also, how I would solve this question, I got a is equal to 5, g of 3 is 2375, so g of 4 is going to be 2375 times 5, because for every time you are multiplying with 5, right? And you will get 11875. Because a to the power x means that if you are increasing x by 1, you keep multiplying with 5. Okay. Now next is question number 104. That's on page number 105. There are lots of medium questions over here. Five times 1.8 to the power t is the equation. What is the best interpolation of 5? 5 is your initial. So initial is what? When the restaurant opened. The estimated number of employees when the restaurant opened, that is the correct answer. Because this is your y-intercept. So that means it talks about the number of employees. Increase in estimated, no, this is not increase. Number of years, no. Number of years is t, that's not this one. Percent increase, no, this is not percent increase. This is your initial value, that is how many employees were there when the restaurant opened. Next one is 122. Yeah, yesterday it was glitching when I was doing quadratic functions. My entire mouse was glitching. Today it is working fine. That's a good thing. Yeah. So bacteria are growing in a liquid growth medium. There were 300,000 cells per millimeter during an initial observation. Number of cells per millimeter doubles every 3 hours. So they're talking about doubling. That means it's exponential. How many cells per millimeter will be there 15 hours after the initial observation? So your value of is 300,000. B is 2 and your M is 3 because you are doubling every 3 years. So your equation is going to be A times B to the power T over M. And your T is 15. You write everything. Y is going to be 300,000 2 to the power 15 over 3. Okay. Just go to desmos. 300,000 times 2 to the power 15 over 3. 96,100,000 is your answer. So most people, they will not do T over M. That's where you can falter. So this is an important thing. If it is doubling every 3 hours, that means it is going to be 8 times B to the power X over 3, not just X. Alright, you have everything. You just have to find the value of y, put in desmos, you get y equals 9600,000. This is my answer. Next question is this was 122, yeah. So the last question is 132 in median. That's the last question of this entire thing also, because there are 132 questions in this entire module. It includes everything, but we are dividing it in quadratic functions and exponential functions. That's easier. So there were no jackrabbits in Australia before 1788, and 24 jackrabbits were introduced. That means this is the initial value. By 1920, the population of jackrabbits had reached 10 billion. So in 1920, the population is 10 billion. If the population had grown exponentially, this would correspond to a 16.2% increase, and they're talking about exponentially, so this is exponential, on average in the population each year. Which of the following functions best models the population P of t of jackrabbits t years after 1788? So they're talking about 1788, so your A value is going to be 24. So this option is gone, this option is gone. There is 16.2% increase, so value of B is going to be 1 plus 16.2 over 100, that is 1.162, because this will be 1 plus 0.162. Yeah, and now it's just A times B to the power t. So 24 times 1.162 to the power t. This is my answer. It is not doubling, it is increasing by 1.162 every single year. Understood? Yeah, so with this the medium questions are done. I hope you were able to understand this concept of t over m, x over m, because that's an important concept in exponential, and in medium and hard questions they're going to ask that. Yeah, I guess everybody is sleeping, so there are no chats today. I would also be sleeping, but yeah, I have to go live, so I'm here. So I'm just going to take a quick break. I'm going to drink water and then just close my eyes for 5 minutes before starting with the hard questions. Hard questions are also a lot. Let me see how many are there. Yes, there are a lot. So medium exponential were 25 questions and hard exponentials are 24 questions. So we have to do 24 more questions. Oh my god. And it's already been 1 hour and 18 minutes, so it's going to take another 1 hour. So I'll just take rest. And I'll stretch because this thing is paining a lot. This pain is gone, which was initially when I started the live, but now this is here because I have to write everything, so yeah. So let's get started. First question is question number 3. That's page number 3. So now you have been seeing that I am directly writing the A value as y-intercept. So you will directly say y-intercept is going to be -8 and you will type the answer D. But that is where they will take you. Over here it is going to be A plus K because there is a K value also, so you have to add it as well. So from here it's going to take -8 plus 22. So the answer is going to be 14. Y-intercept is 0, 14, not this one. Okay, and best way is you can just go to desmos, type the equation, you will get it. -8 2 to the power x plus 22. Zero, 14. So be very careful when you're adding something. That means you have to add that to your A value as well to get the y-intercept. It's not going to be -8, so you cannot directly write -8. Okay, here. So y-intercept is going to be A plus K because you're adding something. So -8 plus 22. Best thing, you can also just go to desmos and type it in. Next is question number 5. Okay, the equation is given 9000 times 0.6 to the power x. Which of the following is the best interpretation of y-intercept? So over here y-intercept is 9000 and x represents the number of years since 1997. So 9000 in 1997. Minimum, there is no minimum or maximum in exponential. There is an asymptote and it goes up to infinity. There is an asymptote, it goes up to infinity. Or like here, there are no asymptote. There are no minimum or maximum. Okay, because it is continuously increasing or it is continuously decreasing. It is never going to increase and then decrease. That is where you get minimum or maximum. So this minimum is already gone. So 1997, the answer is 9000. 1997 answer is not 1708. So this is already gone. So this is my answer. Alright. And I'm also going to write no minimum or maximum in exponential. So wherever you see minimum or maximum, that's not going to be the answer. Next is question number 6. Oh, this is geometric sequence. So I will directly tell you the formula for geometric sequence. How do I know it's geometric sequence? Because first term is given and you are multiplying 4 times. So whenever you are doing this, it is a1 times r to the power n minus 1. Your nth term is first term. Your factor, or this is known as common ratio, that is by r to the power n minus 1. So you just have to apply this formula. W represents the nth term. So instead of an, I will write w. First term is 9, so instead of a1, I will write 9. You are multiplying 4 times the preceding term, so the value of r is 4. So this equation is w equals 9 times 4 to the power n minus 1. So if you do not know the formula, you will directly do 4 to the power n. But the problem is first term is 9. So when you put n is equal to 1, you are getting 9 times 4, that is 36, but you should get 9. That is why you have to subtract 1, and these are not there because this you can directly see. So why it will not be n to the power 1? Because when you put n is equal to 1, this is 9 times 4, and that is not equal to 9. That is not the first term. Got it? That is what also you can do. First term is given to you as 9, so you can put n is equal to 9 in all of them. Here you will get 4 times 9, that's 36, that's not correct. Here you will get 4, that's also not correct. Here you will get 36, that's not correct. Here you will get 9. So this is the correct answer. I hope I made it clear. So you can do one thing, put n is equal to 1. See where you get w equals 9, because that's the first term. In case you're not good with remembering formulas and everything. So there's someone in the chat. Nice, ma'am. Wow, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Milan Gaming and Factors. Okay. So because it's quite possible, because you're going to be under pressure and you might forget, oh my god, what was the formula? I don't remember what was in the sequence. So you can just put n is equal to 1 because first term is 9, and you see where you're getting 9 for n is equal to 1. M2 means method 2. Alright. Now the next question is question number 9. So we are going to page number 9. Yeah, these kind of questions, they're asking a lot of these questions here. F of x is negative a to the power x plus b. So this is exponential, a and b are constants. Graph of y is equal to f of x minus 12 has a y-intercept at 0, negative 75 over 7. Product of AB is 320 over 7. What is the value of A? So first, what is y? Y is f of, f of x is negative a to the power x plus b. Y is f of x minus 12. And y has an intercept of 0, negative 75 over 7. So that means there are two ways that you can go about it. First is you replace f of x with this thing, negative a to the power x plus b. And now y-intercept is 0, negative 75 over 7. So you write negative 75 over 7, negative a to the power 0 plus b minus 12. You will get negative 1 plus b minus 12. That is negative 75 over 7. And from there you can get the value of b. That's what we are going to do. So negative 75 over 7 equals negative 1, because a to the power 0 is 1, but it is negative outside, so negative 1 plus b, instead of b I will write x minus 12. .286. So I am getting my b as 2.286. Now the product of AB is 320 over 7. A times b is 320 over 7. And you have got the value of b. So now you can write that equation. X times, this is 2.286. 2.286 equals 320 over 7. You're getting 19.998, but actually the value is 20. So the value of A is 20. How can you directly get 20 and not write 19.98? Why I am not writing that? Because when you write negative 75 over 7 equals negative 1 plus b minus 12, you are adding 1, you are adding 12. That means 13 minus 75 over 7 is b. Now do that. 13 minus 75 over 7. So it's not 2.286, and you convert it into a fraction, this is 16 over 7. So the value of b is 16 over 7. And now 8 times 16 over 7 is going to be 320 over 7. 7 cancel, 16 times 2 is 32. So the value of a is going to be 20. Got it? So it's not 19.988 because your b value is not 2.286, it's actually 16 over 7. So it's best that you bring everything onto the other side and solve for b, and because you can get your answer in fractions. If you going to see on the graph, you will not get the exact value, you will get the rounded up number. So take care of that. Yeah, word problems, so I will be entirely on word problem. So factors, what I'm thinking is going topic wise. For exponential, I will be covering all the things. Word problems, normal problems, everything of that sort. So I'm thinking of going topic wise, like linear equation in one variable, linear equation in two variable, linear inequalities and sort of that. Just word problems I will try, but not right now, it will not be possible. When do you have your SAT? If it is not 24th August, then yes, I can do it in September or October. I can do that entirely on word problems also. Alright, so the value of a is going to be 20. You were getting 19.988, or what you were getting before. You can also do undo in desmos, so no need if your work was gone. 19.998. So you're not going to write 19.998. Your answer will be wrong because it is exactly 20, because this is your approximate answer. So if you want the correct answer, just get the value in fractions. So add 13 on both sides. Alright. Next one is question number 14. That's on page number 15. Again, the exact same, not the exact same question, but yeah, same kind of question. So over here, f of x is a to the power x plus b. Y is equal to f of x, so it's just f of x. X intercept is at 2, 0. Y intercept is 0, negative 323. What is the value of b? So now over here, there are two parameters a and b. 2 points are given. You can directly use those 2 points. You can make the table 2, 0, 0, negative 323. And you can write y1 is a to the power x1 plus b. Or because you have to get the value of b, we will be using the y-intercept. So f of x is equal to a to the power x plus b, negative 323 equals a to the power 0 plus b. This is going to be 1. Negative 323 equals 1 plus b. You subtract 1, you get b is equal to negative 324. This is method 1. This is your table, put in decimals. Because there are two different points given to you, 2, 0 and 0, negative 323. And they've also told you the function is of, here you will not write a times b to the power x because they've given the different format, a to the power x1 plus b. 18, the value of b is negative 324. So from here you can get b is negative 324. Alright? Sure, I'll try. But not immediately. Next question is question number 17. So that's on page number 18. bacteria, whenever you see bacteria, that means they're talking about exponential. Okay, day is given to you. Bacteria is growing at an exponential rate in the table below or table above at this rate. On which day bacteria reach 5.12 times 10 to the power 8. So you do not know the number of day, but you know this is 5.12 times 10 to the power 8. So I'm just adding it over here. So again you can just put this in desmos and write y1 is a times b to the power x1. You will get the values of a and b, and then you just write 5.12 times 10 to the power 8 equals a times b to the power x. You will get the value of x. Alright, so this is what you do in desmos. For the table, that's the first step. So let's do that. In the table you have day on day 1, it is 2.5 times 10 to the power 5. On day 2 it is 5 times 10 to the power 5. On day 3 it is 1 times 10 to the power 6. I was pressing shift 8 for multiplication here. 1 times 10 to the power 6. And this is 5.0. No need to write 0.0, but yeah, if you want you can write. And now this one is not a to the power x1 plus b, this is a times b to the power x1. You have got the value of a, you have got the value of b, and now you just write 5.12 times 10 to the power 8 equals a times b to the power x. See, you will not be able to click on the point because this is exponential, so either you plus, you like to zoom in, you will get 12. So the answer is day 12. Or you can write y equals 5.12 times 10 to the power 8 and y equals a times b to the power 8. You already have the graph. Okay, so you can just write y equals 5.12 times 10 to the power 8 a to the power a times b to the power x. Why am I not getting anything? Let me just write a times b to the power x. This graph also it is not showing. Ah, it's here. Yeah, you don't need to write this. You can just write y equals 5.12 times 10 to the power 8, and then just you have to go to that value 10 to the power 8. So keep going. One 1.2 times 10 to the power 1, that is 12. Okay, but over here it is easier to just do this because the value is going to be an integer. We are sure of it because we're talking about number of days. Okay, so the answer is day 12. This is where you're getting, so you just add, you will get 12. Also it's greater than 10, yeah, so it could be 11 or 12, yeah, but like that. So when you know the answer is going to be an integer, then you can directly type like this. Otherwise you can just type like this, and then you have to go up to that point, and then you can see the point of intersection. Next question is question number 31. That's going to be on page number 32. So this is the same question that we did before. F of x is negative a to the power x plus b. Y is equal to f of x minus 15 has a y-intercept of 0, negative 99 over 7. Product of a and b 65 over 7. What is the value of a? So again, f of x is equal to negative a to the power x plus b. Y is f of x minus 15. That means negative a to the power x plus b minus 15. And now y-intercept is 0, negative 99 over 7. So negative 99 over 7 is equal to negative 1 plus b minus 15, because negative a to the power 0 is going to be 1. Now you add 16 on both sides, because we want our answer in fractional form. We do not want the decimal form, so that we get the exact value of a. So 16 minus 99 over 7 is going to be my b, and now a times b is 65 over 7, so I can directly get it. So b is 16 minus 99 over 7, and now a times b is 65 over 7. You will get x as 5. So instead of a, you will have to write x, because it does not understand a. We can write b, because over there it's just the value, right? 16 minus 99 over 7. So the value of a is going to be 5. Or if you directly do negative 99 over 7 equals negative a to the power 0 plus b minus 15. First thing is, you will have to use you can't use negative a to the power 0, so you'll have to write negative 1, and instead of b you will have to use x. You're getting 1.857. So now x times 1.857 is equal to 65 over 7. So you will get 5. You're getting 5 over here, exactly like that also, yeah. So that also can be done. .857. So you write x times 1.857 equals 65 over 7. You will get x is equal to 5. That's your value of a. Alright? Yeah. So this is how you solve these kind of questions. Next one is 38. Yeah. So model estimates that at the end of each year from 2015 to 2020, the number of squirrels in a population was 150% more than the number of squirrels in the population at the end of previous year. So there is 150% more, that is, there is an increase of 150%. That means this is going to be exponential. So your R value is 150%. So B is going to be 1 plus R, that is 1 plus 150%, that is 150 over 100. You will get 2.5. The model estimates at the end of 2016 there were 180 squirrels in the population. So your 0 is 2015. So 1 is going to represent 2016. So the point is going to be 1, 180. Which of the following equations represent this model where n is the estimated number of squirrels in population t years after the end of 2015? That is, in 2016 the value of t is going to be 1. So now your a is not going to be 180. That is what we can see. So these two options are gone. The only options you have is 72. So your answer is 72 times 2.5 to the power t. This is by logic and by desmos. You have y is equal to a times b to the power x. You know the value of b as well, 2.5. And now there is 1 point, so you write that 1 point in the table, 1, 180. Now you go to desmos. In the table you write 1, 180, and then you write y1, a times 2.5 to the power x1. You will get the value of a 72. That's one method, or the other method is you have got y is equal to a times b to the power x. So you write the points over here. 180 equals a times 2.5 to the power 1. And you will get the value of a directly from here. Instead of a, you write x times 2.5 to the power 1. The value of a is 72. So from here also you will get a is equal to 72. So these are the three options. Okay, you can directly cancel out the options because 180 is not going to be your initial value because that is after 1 year. So it has to be something else other than 180. The only option is 72, so you choose 72. The value of b is 2.5 because there is 150% increase. Now how can you find directly? You just plug in the point. 180 equals a times 2.5 to the power 1. You will get the value of a as 72. So you replace a with x in your desmos, or you can make the table and then use a regression as well. So over here this method is the fastest one. Alright. So that is question number 38. Next is 41. Is going to be on page number 42. Population of a certain city y years after last census is modeled by an equation below. R is a constant, P naught is a population, and y is equal to 0. If during this time the population of the city decreases by a fixed percent, which of the following must be true? So if it is decreasing, that means your b has to be between 0 to 1. Decreasing means that factor has to be between 0 to 1. Increasing means factor has to be greater than 1. Alright? Because for exponential increasing graph, b has to be greater than 1. For decreasing graph, b has to be between 0 and 1. Now your b value is 1 plus r. You just write 1 plus r has to be between 0 and 1. And they're saying which one is true. So now you subtract 1 on all sides of the inequality. 0 minus 1 is negative 1, r 0. So r should be between -1 to 0. Also, other thing that you can do is, because this is plus r, if you are decreasing, r has to be a negative value. Alright, and this entire thing has to be positive. So r cannot be less than -1, because if you take -2, this is going to be 1 minus 2, that is -1. That doesn't make any sense. So these two options are already gone. You're confused between a and b. 1 plus r is decreasing. That means r has to be negative. Alright. So r has to be less than 0, because over here you are not taking care of like -0.5 and all of that. So this is going to be my answer. That is how you can solve it by logic. Is it possible to get 800 in math by using desmos 90% of the time? So hi Ranjit, it is possible to get 800, but you also have to know quick fixes without using desmos as well, because sometimes in questions it's easier to know the logic and just apply it, because you will get the answer in a faster way. But yes, most of the time you can use desmos, but I would recommend that you also, that is why I'm explaining through all different methods, so that you can also directly get the answer without using desmos as well. Because if you know the logic, that is going to be 100% faster if there are no calculations involved. If calculations are involved, go for desmos. If you have to solve equations, go for desmos. Okay, yes, but yes, it is possible to get 800. And yes, desmos is a great tool, so you should know when to use it and when you can avoid it, because typing and seeing the answer, zooming in, zooming out, is going to take time. If you can directly know the concept, if you directly know that this is going to be my answer, then there is no need to go to any kind of calculator. But other than that, go to calculator. Yes, you can get it. I hope I answered your question. For example, in this question, there is no way that you can type that you can use desmos. I can tell you that how you can use desmos, but this is a better way. So this is your method 1, and this is your method 2. If it is decreasing, r has to be negative, because you have to subtract something, right? And this entire 1 plus r has to be positive, because all your factors, it doesn't matter whether they are decreasing or increasing, they have to be positive. So r has to be negative, that means r has to be less than 0. 1 plus r has to be positive, that means 1 plus r has to be greater than 0, that means r has to be greater than -1. Combining, r has to be between 0 and -1. Or you can solve in this way as well. For decreasing, your factor has to be between 0 to 1. Factor is 1 plus r, you subtract 1 on both sides, r is between -1 to 0. Where should I go now? Yeah, I think you can see the answer now. How often do you live stream? So Ranjit, I've been doing this daily because there's an exam coming on 24th August. So otherwise I don't do live stream daily, but right now I've been doing daily. And when I was solving the Blue Book practice test, I was going live twice a day, so that I could finish all the practice tests in just 3 days. But right now I'm trying to do daily, so yeah, I've been coming daily. Yeah. Timing is not fixed. Let me tell you that, because timing is a problem. So whenever I get time, I go live, because this takes a lot of time. Each topic takes 2 hours, 3 hours, so I have to have that much time because I have classes also, I have to sleep also, so I figure out what time would be the best. Yeah, timing is not fixed, but right now I'm coming daily on the live. Yeah. So yeah, these are the two logic that you can apply over here, and the answer is going to be between -1 to 0. So you have to know, in exponential, when it is increasing, the factor is greater than 1. When it is decreasing, the factor is between 0 to 1. Alright? So this is the concept. I will also mention it. Now the next question is 46. That will be on page number 47. And I will come back to my original position. Yes. So function f gives the value in dollars of a certain piece of equipment after X months of use. And by just looking at the equation, you can see that B is 0.64 for every 12 months. If the value of equipment decreases each year by P% of its value preceding year, what is the value of P? So they're talking about each year, that means they're talking about for 12 months. So in 12 months your factor is 0.64, and because it is decreasing, B is going to be equal to 1 minus R over 100, 0.64. So basically it's going to be 36%, because 100 minus 64 is 36%. Because this is 0.64, this will become 64. Okay? So R has to be 1 minus 0.64, that is 0.36. That means 36%. You got it? The other way to solve it, if you're not directly able to get it, each year means 12 months, so you write 0.64. We don't care about the initial value over here, and x, the value of x is going to be 12. So you do 12 over 12, you're going to get 1, 0.64 to the power 1. This is your B value. Alright? And then you can go forward. So this is an important concept that they will ask most of the difficult questions based on this concept only. I hope this is clear. Next is question number 55. That's on page number 56. What is the best interpretation of y-intercept? Y-intercept is 8,000. And 8,000 is number of coupons. And since the end of 1998, 8,000 coupons in 1998. That is the meaning. So wherever you don't see 8,000, you cancel those options. This is gone, this is gone. And wherever you don't see 1998, you cancel those options. Estimated number of coupons companies sent to their customers at the end of 1998 was 8,000. So that is the correct answer, because your initial is 1998. Alright? You cannot see the question here, so over here. Next one is question number 71. That's going to be on page number 72. Yeah, this is also a tricky question, but I will tell you how to solve this one. That's why in the previous question, when there were like these kind of things, I told you about two methods. So over here, P models the population T years after 2005. According to the model, the population is predicted to increase by n% every 18 months. What is the value of n? So first we need to find our B. So every 18 months, that means T is 18. So this will be 1.04 times 4 over 6. And now this is T years. So T is going to be 18 over 12, not just 18. So times 18 over 12. So when you simplify this, this is just going to be 1.04 to the power 1. So your B value is 1.04, and because it is increasing, 1 plus R is 1.04. That means R is 0.04. R is 4%. Or increasing by n%, so 1 plus n. So n is going to be 4%. Got it? And it is increasing every 18 months. That is why instead of t you are having 4/6, because 18 months in years is 6/4. That is why it will be t divided by 6/4, that is t times 4/6. But to be sure whether this answer is going to be to the power 1, we are doing this, because I want my answer in years. And you just replace it over here, you will get the value of B. Because it is not the question in this model, I've seen the questions, but there was this one question in Blue Book practice test. So how can they give the variation? I will show you that variation. I will write variation over here. The question could be increased by n% every year. In that case, the value of t is going to be 1. Your B will be 1.04 to the power 4/6 times 1. So your B is not 1.04. You cannot directly say it's going to be 4%. You find out that value. 1.04 to the power 4/6. It's 1.026. So now 1 plus n over 100 is going to be 1, or 1 plus n is going to be 1.026. I will divide with 100 because I directly want the answer in decimals, like percentages, not decimals. And now 1 plus x over 100 is equal to b. I will write this is equals to b, so that I don't have to type it again. And you can see 2.6% or 2.65%. So the value n would be 2.65%. So it's very important that you understand this variation. If they were saying this is increasing by n% every 2 years, then the value of t will be 2, and this will be 1.04 to the power 4/6 times 2. So you will find that value, and from there you will get your percentage of increase. Got it? So this kind of question they have asked in Blue Book, so they can ask in what should I say, in your SAT exams also. It is in here there is no such kind of question. That is why I am taking the variation as well. Alright, in that case the answer will be 2.65%, not 4%. So you have to be very careful. You cannot just say it's 1.04, so the answer is going to be 4%. No, you have to check it is 1.04 to the power how much, with the value that they have given to you. This was 71, next is 72. Okay, f of 0 is 86, that means the value of a is 86. For each increase in x by 1, the value of f of x decreases by 80%, that means r is 80%. So your b is going to be 1 minus 0.8, that is b is 0.2. What is the value of f of 2? So you have got f of x is 86 times 0.2 to the power x, because 8 times b to the power x. And now f of 2 means the value of x is 2. Now you can just go to desmos. .44. That's your answer. F of 0 is 86, that means a is going to be 86. For each increase in x by 1, value of f of x decreases by 80%, that means your r is 80% decrease. So b is going to be 1 minus 80 over 100, that is 1 minus 0.8, that's 0.2. So your function is 86 times 0.2 to the power x. That is 86 times 0.2 squared will give you f of 2. Next one is 73. That will be on page number 74. (1800) times 1.02. This is very difficult question here. Not difficult, but wordings are very complicated. Yeah. Equation above models the number of members n t years after the gym opens. Which equation models the number of members of the gym q quarter years after the gym opens? Okay. Q quarter years means after every 4 years. Because quarter means 4. So this will be 1800, everything will remain the same. And now it will become Q over 4 because you have x over n. The value of m is 4. So this is my answer. Alright. So you just have to know what is quarter years. Quarter years means we're talking about every 4 years. Alright. So t will be equal to, so over here this is for every year. So you should get 1.02. So after every 4 years you should get this much. Alright. I am not sure this is the answer. It could be B as well. Yeah, let me give a second. Obviously this is not C or D because they are changing. We want 1.02, but it could be either Q over 4, it could be 4Q. Quarter years means, I think they're talking about 4 years. No. Quarter year means 3-month period. That is why I was like, this can't, then it will be optional. Because if it were 4 years, it would be 4Q. So 3-month period or 1/4 of a year. So when Q is going to be 4, T is going to be 1, right? Because 4 quarters make 1 year. So we have to see when we put Q is equal to 4, we should get 1.02 to the power 1. So when you put 4 over 4 is 1. When you put 1, this is also 1. So this is the exact same equation for 1 year. Alright? That's why it's going to be option A. So when Q is equal to 4, T is equal to 1, so you should get 1.02 to the power 1, and that's happening from the first equation. That is where the answer is first equation. Yeah, because I was confused, this quarter years is after 4 years or 4 times in 1 year. If it were after 4 years, then option will be B. Alright? And I was like, that is why I was like, I have to confirm what is this quarter year. So quarter years means 3-month period or 1/4 of a year. Okay, so 1/4 of a year means q over 4. Got it? And every year it should be 1.02. So every year means how many quarters are there in 1 year? There are 4 quarters. So in those 4 you should get 1.02. So you're getting 1.02, 4 over 4 is 1. In the second option you will be getting 4 times 4, that's 16, 1.02 to the power 16. So two equations are not matching after 1 year. Alright, C and D are obviously not going to match after 1 year. That is where the option is A. This one is a little difficult for me to explain. Yeah. I think this was 73 or this was 76, let me check. This was 73. Next one is 76. That is going to be page number 77. Alright, F and G are given equations. X is greater than or equal to 0. Which of the following equation displays as a constant or coefficient the maximum value of the function? It defines. And this is also exponential. And this is also exponential. So I told you before, no maximum or minimum in exponential. Answer is neither one or not two. If you don't believe me, you can go to desmos and type these equations. For example, if you're still watching Ranjit, then you can see over here, if you directly know that exponential functions doesn't have maximum or minimum, you can directly say it's going to be neither of the equations. Otherwise, what you will have to do, you will have to go to desmos and you will have to understand what is happening, and that will be a lot more time taking. So there are questions where you don't have to use desmos. 33 times 0.4 to the power x plus 3, that was my f of x. And 33 times 0.16 times 0.4 to the power x minus 2. Yeah, for this you have to put this is times. Yeah. So if you will see maximum value, the maximum value of y, it is going to infinity, and none of the constant or coefficient is representing infinity. So remember, there is no maximum or minimum in exponential, there is asymptote. Next one is 93, so page number 94. Okay. So h of x is equal to a to the power x plus b. Graph of y is equal to h of x is, and it is passing through 2 points are given to you, so you can get the value of a and b. So in your table you write 0, 10, and you write -2 and 325 over 36, and you write exactly in this format, a to the power x1 plus b. What is the value of ab, and then you just multiply a times b, you will get your answer. This is a proper desmos question. If you try to do this by hand, it will take a lot of time. So that is why you have to be very careful when to use, when not to use. -2, 325 over 36. A to the power x1, because they have given you this equation, that is why we are using this equation. If nothing is given, we use a times b to the power x. And if there are, and in most of the questions you might have seen, they're saying no additional withdrawals, no additional deposits. If there is additional withdrawal or deposit, then you will have to add or subtract that number from a times b to the power x. A is 6, b is 9, a times b is going to be 54. Over here also, do not assume that b is going to be 10, because there is no constant, right? This is a different kind of exponential equation. Yeah. Next one is 108. Let's page number 109. F of x is 9 times 4 to the power. So here you will have to use the oh my god, they're doing something and there will be noise. It has passed. So f of x is 9 times 4 to the power x. G of x is f of x plus 2. So the meaning of this is wherever you see x, you have to replace it with x plus 2. So this will be 9 times 4 to the power x plus 2. And now none of the option is in this format. So now you will remember a to the power m times a to the power n was a to the power m plus n. So basically if you are adding the exponents, you can decompose them like this. So this will be 9 times 4 to the power x times 4 squared. Still none of the options is like that, but now you can find 9 times 4 squared times 4 to the power x. This is going to be 144. Otherwise, what you will do, if you do not know this thing, this is of course faster. The next option is, you know, g of x is f of x plus 2. So you do everything in desmos. You write f of x is 9 times 4 to the power x, you write g of x is f of x plus 2, and then you check all 4 options, 18 times 4 to the power x, 144 times 4 to the power x, and see which one matches. 18 times a to the power x, because you know nothing. And wherever this one and these matches, that is your answer. So for example, you will have to write entire f of x because g of x is related to this. If you do not know that, you have to replace x with x plus 2. Then g of x is equal to f of x plus 2. You write as it is and then you write all the options. The first option was 18 4 to the power x. We do not want this graph, we just want g of x. So you can see this blue and green are different, so you type the second option. The green and blue are the exact same. So this is going to be your answer, and just to be sure you type the third one also, 18 times 8 to the power x. Again there are two different lines, that's not the answer. 81 times 16 to the power x. They are also not the same, so the answer is B. Yes, you can do it by this method also, but this is way faster, right? If you know the method. But I am telling you both because it depends on your choice how you want to do this. Yeah. 111. That's page number 112. Cow measured the temperature of a cup of hot chocolate placed in room with constant temperature of 70 degree Fahrenheit. The temperature of the hot chocolate was 185 degree Fahrenheit at 6 p.m. when it started cooling. Temperature of the hot chocolate was 156 degree at 6:05 p.m. and 135 at 6:10 p.m. So there are 5 minutes interval. Hot chocolate's temperature continued to decrease. Which of the following best models the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit of cow's hot chocolate and minutes after it started cooling? Because it is decreasing, your factor is going to be less than 1, so this option is already gone. right? And the points you have at 6 p.m., let's say after 6 p.m. Yeah. So 0, 185 is the first point, 5, 156 is the other point, 10, 135 is the third point. Now you have to the power m, so we will try that. Zero. Also one more thing, initially your answer should be 185 because when you started putting the temperature was 185, so this option is also gone. Now you're only left with B and D, and automatically people will choose option A, option B I mean, because this is 185, but this is a tricky question. So wait, when, at 5 it is 156, at 10 it is 135. Your B is 0.96 if you take this formula. So it can't be B. Because you're not getting 0.85, you're getting 185 times 0.9 to the power m. 0.96 in fact. I'm sorry, I'm going to some other model here. So this is not going to work, right? If you do x over 5, because it is cooling every 5 minutes, then you get 0.85. So your answer should have been 185 times 0.85 to the power m over 5. That option is nowhere. And over here also, when you put m is equal to 0, you're getting 185 minus 70. So this is also not working, and this is not 0.85, so yeah. But now how they're solving the problem? The answer is option D. I will explain to you why it is option D, because your equation is going to be 8 times b to the power x over 5 plus 70, because your temperature is not dropping to 0. This is your room temperature. So minimum temperature it can go would be approx 70. Hot chocolate can't go below room temperature. So you have to understand that your horizontal asymptote is y is equal to 70. Because your temperature is not going to drop down to 0. I hope I'm making sense. So this could have been the first option, but over here this means that horizontal asymptote is 0. So this is not correct, because it is dropping down, the temperature is dropping down. It can drop down up to only 70 only. So you have to add this 70 over here, because this is going to be the graph. Got it? That is why none of the options were coming correct. And why we're doing x over 5? Because you're taking every 5 minutes. We are recording the temperature every 5 minutes. That is why it is x over 5. And now when you will put, you will get option D. I know this is like how will I know? This is a little complicated question, and now if you will do, you will get the value of A as approximately 115, B is 0.75. So this is your answer. I hope that makes sense. So the only thing over here, how they're playing with your mind, you will not think that the horizontal asymptote is going to be 70 degree Fahrenheit. You will just use A times B to the power x. But over here, this is A times B to the power x plus k, because there is going to be some horizontal asymptote. So in these questions, so what I will say, to be like on a safer side, for every question use plus k. For example, here also, instead of, you do not know that it's 70, you just write plus k. You will get, no, you're getting different things. K they are showing is 79.875, but this is actually 70. So that is a trick, because the room temperature is 70 degrees, so hot chocolate cannot go beyond 70 degrees. So y equals 70 is going to be your horizontal asymptote. That's why, and you're checking finding your temperature every 5 minutes. That is why it will be x over 5, m over 5, I mean to say. Okay. I know this is like, oh my god, what just happened? But yeah, whenever you get to see this kind of question, just be sure. And otherwise, if you do not know all of these concepts, how can you find out? I will tell you that also. So you have the table, right? If you do not know any of this, this is like too much, right? So method 2 is, make table for each equation. In desmos. So first one we already cancelled, right? Because this is increasing. Next one is 185 times 0.85 to the power m. And we saw that is not the answer because we had spent time in it. You're getting 185, then at 5 you're getting 82. But at 5 you should be getting 156. So this is cancelled. Next one is 185 minus 70. And then you have 0.75 to the power x1 over 5. You're getting 115, that is not the correct answer. You should get 185. So that's also 1. Now option D is there. So you write that. We're getting exact same answers. 185, 156, 135. I'm just going to, this is like a difficult question that I would say, because a lot of things included, but I've tried to tell you like how we can get to the correct answer. If there is room temperature involved, you cannot go beyond that room temperature, so there is going to be a horizontal asymptote. And you're recording temperature every 5 minutes, that is why it will be x over 5. Otherwise, just check all the options, you have the table, and see where the table is exactly matching your answers. Or instead of making tables, put all points and check all equations. For example, this is what I had given to you. Here modeling is a little difficult, so just type all the options. First one we already cancelled. Second one is 185 times 0.85 to the power n. Oh my god, why is it not showing? Okay, there is something terribly wrong. I think my cat has something to do with it. Yeah, now it is there. So you have your points, you write it over here. Not at 1, at 5. Yeah. And after 10 minutes it is 135. 10 is 135. First option is cancelled. Now you try the second option. 185 times 0.85 to the power x. That's also a very good option. The answer are over here. So you go to these points. So you can see the other two options, they're not matching, so this is not the correct answer. This is the best way to solve this here. And then you try the third option, 185 minus 70 times 0.75 to the power x over 5. None of the points are matching. So this is also not the correct answer. Now the last option, 70 plus 115, 0.75 to the power x over 5. All 3 points are on the line. So when nothing is making sense, then you can just put all the options in desmos and you have the table of points and then see where these points are falling. All 3 points are falling over here. Okay? I would prefer this. But anyways, I've told you why this is happening as well. Okay? Because modeling is not going to work here, and you should stop at modeling when you see that you're getting 0.96. We tried that, right? So just try all the 4 options. And that should work for every single question. 114. This took so much time. P models the population T years after the census. Which of the following function best models the population of Lowell M months after the census? So after 12 months, you should get 1.06. So it will be M over 12, everything is same. Option D. Why? Because when T is equal to 1 years, M is going to be 12. But your answer should be exactly same. So this is 90,000, 1.06 to the power 1. Here you should get 90,000, 1.06 M over 12. So 12 over 12 is 1. Yeah. And because you're converting the time in months, that means the factor should be 1.06 every year. That means it should be 1.06 every month. Every 12 months, not every month. A is 90,000. So the answer is 90,000. 1.06 to the power M over 12, because it's for every 12 months. I hope this is clear. You understand this concept. So this is fairly easy question. Okay. Next one is 115. It's going to be on page number 116. Population of town is currently 50, and in the Q over 4 question as well, in quarter years, let me explain that as well. So it will be 1.06 in every year. Oh my god. So B has to be 1.06 every 4 quarters. Because in 1 year there are 4 quarters. That is why it will be 8 times 1.06 to the power Q over 4. Because every 4 means you have to divide with 4. Every 12 means you have to divide with... Oh my god! She is just going crazy. Alright? So I've tried to explain this concept here as well. And which question was that? Let me see. I want to do it over there as well. I have no idea. It was I think 46, 55 or 70. 46. No, this was not 40. 6, 55. This was not 55. I'm just trying to find that quarter question again because I got a better way to explain it. I wasn't able to explain it in a very good way before. 73. Yep, over here. 4 quarters make 1 year. So this is B is equal to 1.02 every year. That means B is equal to 1.02 every 4 quarter years. That is why it should be 1.02 times Q over 4 to the power Q over 4. Here. I just wanted to change it over here. Now coming back, we were on question number 114, I guess. Yeah, this we have done. Next one is 115. So the next question. So there was only one question where you have to check all the options. The population of a town is currently 50,000 and the population is estimated to increase each year by 3% from the previous year. Because it is increasing by a percentage, that is why it is exponential. If you increase by percentage or decrease by percentage. Now your value of A is 50,000 because that is initial value. These are fairly simple questions. Only one question, the A value was not 185. That question was something. And now because you are increasing by 3%, B is going to be 1 plus 0.03. You have got your answer. A has to be 50,000, so this is gone. It will take for population to reach 60,000. So 60,000 is equal to 50,000 times 1.03 to the power t. Option D is your answer. These are automatically gone. This is decreasing. This is also gone. This is the answer. Alright. 116, next is 120. So if you're not getting anything, then like I told you, you can just put the points and then get your answer. Yeah, this one is also f of k is a to the power 29. What is the value of k? This is exponential function. So what I would suggest, a is a constant greater than 1, right? Take a is equal to 2, take a is equal to 3, anything. Because it is greater than 1, so your table will now be 2, 2 to the power 5, 2 to the power 9. From table get equation. And the y value is a to the power 29, and then you just do 2 to the power 29 is equal to 8 times b to the power x. You should get the value of x. You can take 3 also. We will take different values and see if you are getting the same answer. So at 1 the value is a, that is 2. At 2 the value is 2 to the power 4. Then at 3 the value is a to the power 9. You've got weird answers, and now you just write 2 to the power 29 equals a times b to the power x, and x is your blue line, so you look at blue line 7. So the value of k is 7. You can take 3 also. For example, if you take 3, this will be 3, this will be 3 to the power 4, this will be 3 to the power 9, and here it will be 3 to the power 29, and you will again get 7. So you can take any value, you will get 7 only. Now let's see the logic behind this as well. So you can see you are multiplying with a to the power 4 every single time. So your b is a to the power 4. So for 0, you will be dividing with a to the power 4. So your a value is going to be a divided by a to the power 4. That is a to the power negative 3. 1 minus 4 is negative 3. And y is a times b to the power x. So your a value per se is a to the power negative 3, and let me call it something else, let me call it n. It is easier. You can take any variable. I am just choosing anything else other than a, because so that you don't get confused. A divided by a to the power 4, that is your y-intercept, that is the initial value. A to the power negative 3, this is a to the power 4 whole to the power x, and now this is a to the power 29. Not 29, a to the power 29. And over here you can add the exponents, because same base, so negative 3 plus 4k. So from here 29 has to be equal to negative 3 plus 4k. 29 plus 3 is 32. 32 has to be equal to 4k. K has to be 8, but from here we are getting 7. At 1 this is 3, at 2 it is 3 to the power 4, at 3 it is 3 to the power 9, 3 to the power 29 equals 8 times v to the power x, value of x is 7. So something, are we multiplying by v to the power 4? 5 minus 1 is 4, 9 minus 5 is 4, yes. Let me check what is the answer for this one, 121. So it should be somewhat here. No, no. The answer is 8. We were getting at 1, this is 8, that is 3. This is 3 to the power 5, that is why we have done something wrong. And now you will see the answer is 8. So put your values in desmos correctly. Feels like I've solved it correctly, so the value of k is 8. Alright, so this is the logical way and this is your using desmos, but put the values correctly. It's 3 to the power 5 or 2 to the power 5, you can take any number. 2 more questions, question number 126, that is page number 127. Function q decreases by 45% for every increase in the value of x by 1. q0 is 14, that means value of a is 14, b is going to be 1 minus 0.45, that's 0.55, so 14 times 0.55 to the power x, this is our answer. Because you are decreasing, that means decreasing means 1 minus r. R is 0.45. Got it? Next is 127. So this is like easy only. Yeah? Now last question. Two variables are related such that for each increase of 1 in the value of x, the value of y increases by a factor of 4. So if they are directly given you the factor of 4, so the value of b is 4. When x is equal to 0, y is equal to 200. So this is your value of a. A is 200. Which equation represents this relationship? 200 times 4 to the power x. So this is the answer. It could be C or D. Because it is MSEP written, we do not know. Okay? Yes, so in most of the questions it's easy, only you just have to identify what is the value of A, what is the value of B. Yeah, and with this, yeah, we have done all the questions of exponential. How many hours did it take? Again 3 hours, yeah. So that's it. I hope it was useful and you learned a lot of things. And few questions were like little mind-boggling, but if you understand them, then you have a better. So in those questions, desmos is a better way. Like you have the points, you have the formulas like options, just make a table, just write the equations and see on which equation those points are lying. So sometimes it's better to use desmos, sometimes it's better to just use logic. Alright, so that's it, we are done for today. I hope I'll come soon. Yeah, bye. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all the appreciation, all the motivation that you're giving me. Thank you.